Welcome, everyone, to What to Watch Live, the show where we discuss the best in TV and entertainment this week. My name is David, and today I'm joined by my fellow Xfinity editors, Scott, Gordon, and isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? It's Rose. How is everyone today?
Super.
Hi, it's been a minute since I've been on. I'm so happy to see your faces.
It has been. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Well, we have another huge show for you today, including a very special appearance by the star of Netflix's new series, Cooking with Paris, the one and only Paris Hilton. And before we get started, make sure you grab your Xfinity voice remote to participate in our poll later in the show. Remember that you can vote once or as many times as you'd like, and your vote is counted when your selection changes color. Let's kick things off, as always, with In the News. On Sunday, Ariana Grande announced that she is performing a 5-show concert series live on, checks notes, Fortnite? Yes, the dangerous woman herself is the latest artist to headline the popular video games Rift Tour following Marshmello's virtual concert in February 2019 and Travis Scott's performance in April 2020. Ariana's in-game festival will include 5 shows this weekend, August 6th through the 8th. Let's take a look at a quick teaser for this event. In addition to watching Ariana perform, everyone who attends the Rift Tour will receive a cuddly Cloud Cruiser commemorative umbrella for their Fortnite character, and gamers will also have the opportunity to pick up special in-game items such as an Ariana Grande outfit and a Piggy Smalls backpack based on her actual pet pig. Gordon, as our gaming editor, it only makes sense that we turn to you first to unpack all of this madness.
Wow, what do we even think of this? So this isn't. There was a lot of leaks this year around Fortnite because of the Fortnite versus Apple lawsuit. So this isn't a surprise, but even now that it's here, it feels like a surprise. It feels very odd that Ariana Grande is stepping into the Fortnite arena. And these concerts have been extremely popular. The free items are very cool for people who are into that. If you are interested in checking it out, voice command Fortnite will take you to a destination that has all kinds of really cool Fortnite content from YouTube. We have apps with popular gamers like Sunday and Camping Rusher. We have Fortnite quizzes, all kinds of Fortnite videos from popular Fortnite personalities on YouTube. So again, that's voice command Fortnite. And we have that for a variety of games, Roblox, Minecraft, Halo Infinite, you name it. So my take on it is what an interesting time to have a virtual concert now that we can't get together as much as we used to. I think, David, you made this point, what I thought was really interesting. How many kids is this their first concert is going to be in this virtual space surrounded by millions of other Ariana Grande fans?
Yeah, I mean, I had read that 12 million people watched the Travis Scott concert. 12 million. So, there are a lot of people in there who are seeing their first concert. Rose, do you remember your first concert experience?
Yes, in person with the Fugees. Is that a Fugees on like a boat? That was my first concert experience, and I didn't know what to expect.
Chartered
I just knew I loved the music. I mean, I call it a boat. You might call it a yacht, but yeah, that was my first concert experience, and it was amazing. Cool. Yeah. What was like,
Scott? What was? Go ahead.
Well, keeping with the water theme, my first concert, oddly enough, was Aqua. That wonderful band that
Barbie Girl,
the Little Lone Number. Barbie Girl. Yes, exactly. I mean, could there be a gayer band to see as a youth? I don't know.
I was going to say that is so on brand.
A little bit. Yeah, exactly. I don't honestly remember very much about it apart from the fact that I did go to it when I was very young. But yeah, kind of. It's a weird, sad fact, I guess. I don't know. I'm not that impressed that that's my first music thing that I went to, but I know, totally, absolutely. Could have been the Fugees on a yacht.
Gordon, what was your first music experience? I'm guessing it was like one of the places you lived somewhere in like Korea or whatever, and you saw like the Beach Boys perform on a beach or something.
You're halfway there. No, it's not
really
that cool. I grew up a lot of places, but the place that I most associate with is St. Louis, Missouri. And we used to go to Six Flags Mid-America. We used to have season passes, and there was a Beach Boys concert taking place at like the amphitheater. And I wanted to feel more adult. I was like, oh, adults go to concerts. So I sat and watched the Beach Boys, who now I have an appreciation for, but back then I didn't know. One 60s band from another 50s, 60s, I don't know. So the Beach Boys are my first, not on a beach in Korea, but yeah, the Beach Boys are my first ever, and at Six Flags with the sound of the Screaming Eagle in the background. That's a roller coaster. But yeah, that's my first concert.
Wow, that was a total guess, by the way. You have not told me. Ah, nice. So my first concert was actually Cher. I didn't like grow up much of like a music concert person, shocker, but I took my sister to Cher's first farewell tour. And this was in like 2002. She was done, gonna retire. Here we are, like 20 years later, and she's still going. But it was at the Bryce Jordan Center, and I was like barely out of high school. So I spent all my money to take my sister for her birthday. We sat practically in the back row, and all I remember is that Cher was almost indistinguishable from anyone else on the stage. That's how far back we were. And I remember that she took a shot. This just stands out to me. She took a shot at Britney and Christina, who were still like really hot then, for lip singing during their concerts. And she was saying that I'm singing all live, not like those other girls. So
I would have bet money that your first concert would have been like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles out of our shells tour or something like that. I would have bet money.
Oh, I wish. Can you imagine?
Oh, so I can. Good. Leonardo was just the top of his game back then.
He was. Leo was on guitar as the leader,
What kind of music did they do? Covers with like shell puns, or what kind of music did they play?
No, it was all original music. So one song was called Pizza Power, one was called Coming Out of Their Shells. Splinter had a solo song called Pitching Stones, Kicking Stones, Throwing Stones. It was one of those two. And it was all about how life was just like throwing stones across water.
I never knew this even existed.
Way too much about. Yeah. It was great. So they had like a partnership with Pizza Hut, and you could go to Pizza Hut and you could get the cassette tape as with like a personal pan pizza. And of course I did that and I had it, and it's fantastic.
Some of our viewers know what a cassette tape even looks like.
Oh, that's going to make me sad.
Yeah, I don't know how young our demo is.
What we don't know what to watch live, nation. We don't know how old they skew. Anyway,
you're really going to try to make what to live watch nation stick.
Just wait. all the merch. I get 10%.
The two fans. The two fans that watch us are called What to Watch Live Nation.
Both of them. But yeah, Fortnite. Say Fortnite in your Xfinity voice remote. So for more Ariana Grande fun surrounding her upcoming concerts this weekend. And say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Fugees and what was it? Aqua?
Wow, Gordon, come on. Seriously?
Yeah, what was it?
It was Aqua. Gosh.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
I
was thinking for some reason Love Fool got in my brain, and that's the Cardigans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to that end, you can also check out real life music festivals like Coachella, Rolling Loud, Lollapalooza, and more by saying festival season into your voice remote. Now let's find out what everyone's talking about in a segment called Trending. We run, we jump, we swim and play. We row and go on trips. But the thing that lasts forever our dear friendships. Camp Anawana will hold you in our hearts, but Rose is here to tell us about a different kind of summer camp for kids and kids at heart. Take it away, Rose.
I love that. Busting out into song. That warms my heart. But what would a segment with me be without a fun fact? I've got a fun fact for you. So last I checked, according to the American Camp Association, more than 14 million children and adults attended camp in the U.S. And there are no shortage of camp categories for everyone. I didn't find out there was like a chess camp and a Minecraft camp. That's because my son goes to them. I remember growing up, going to like cheerleading and dance camp. I mean, that's on brand, right? And I also had to check, and I found out that there is indeed today a zombie apocalypse survival camp that exists. But if you think you've exhausted all possible choices for summer camp, awesome. I invite you to say Kids Summer Camp into your X1 voice remote and explore everything we have to offer, because we have something for everyone. You can brush up on your baking skills, take voice lessons, or learn new dance moves or basketball drills so you can be ballin' like Curry. Take virtual field trips to Disney and Universal Studios. I highly recommend like the Disney roller coasters. I'm afraid of heights, so I don't go on roller coasters, so I'll just watch them virtually. And if you're looking for something for the entire family to enjoy or wind down together after a day at camp, we've teamed up with Common Sense Media. So parents and guardians, if you don't know what Common Sense Media is, here's a quick explanation. It's an excellent resource to figure out if a TV show or a movie is appropriate for your kids. So it'll say like, this has a lot of sex and curse words, and you can decide if you want to show this to your kid. But it's an excellent resource. So we've teamed up with them to bring you their TV and movie recommendations for summer-themed entertainment to stir up camp memories or other fun flicks to inspire outdoor adventures. So again, you just say Kids Summer Camp into your X1 voice remote to access all of this amazing, amazing summer-themed and summer camp inspired activities, TV, and movie shows. So for me, growing up, I remember I wanted to go to a camp that was depicted in one of my favorite movies growing up, The Parent Trap, the original, the non-Lindsay Lohan version, Parent Trap. I'm talking about Haley Mills, Let's Get Together, yeah, that one. That conjures up like a lot of memories. But I want to hear from my fellow editors, because I know they have a lot of summer and summer camp memories. I'm going to start with
I'm sorry.
David.
Rose, how does that song go again?
Let's get together, yeah. That one, remember?
I just want to hear it.
Well, Rose, my summer camp was not existent as a indoor kid, as everyone knows, but it was the summer of 1997, and Stefano DiMera was up to his old tricks again. Stefano hired a woman named Susan Banks, who looked exactly like his daughter, Kristen DiMera, and convinces Susan to carry a baby that Kristen will raise with her boyfriend, John Black. John then marries Susan thinking that it was actually Kristen, but John's only marrying Susan, who he thinks is Kristen, because she's pregnant. John actually wants to marry Marlena Evans, who he briefly thought was dead because Stefano and Kristen faked a plane crash. Marlena finds out about Kristen's scheme with Susan and confronts Kristen, who then locks Marlena in the basement of the DiMera mansion. Meanwhile, Susan finds out that Kristen plans to lock her in the basement as well and resume a relationship with John. So Susan locks Kristen in the basement instead, trapping mortal enemies Kristen and Marlena in the same room together. Susan, posing as Kristen, plans a massive Elvis-themed wedding. Still with me? Plans a massive Elvis-themed wedding just as Marlena and Kristen accidentally cause a gas leak while trying to escape the basement. Will Susan officially marry John? Will Kristen and Susan escape the basement? Will John find a cure for Roman's rare disease? Is Lucas or Austin the father of Sammy's baby? Will Bo and Hope end up with Billy or Hope? Or will Jennifer and Jack escape the jungle hideout to make it home for Christmas? Like sands through the hourglass. Those were the days of our lives in summer of 1997. Wow. And in case you didn't get it, I watched Days of Our Lives in 1997, a lot of it that summer.
That was
And
something.
that is how a bill becomes a law.
I also watched a lot of Hulk Hogan in the series Thunder in Paradise, but you know, that the best of both worlds. Hulk Hogan in a soapy NBC daytime series, followed by Passions, but that's another story completely. Passions with Timmy and Tabitha and all that. I could go on and on, but I'm not gonna. Gordon, tell us about your summer camp memories.
Follow that, Holmes. Okay, so when I was 5 years old, my mother, my father used to go on long business trips, i.e. he would go to like Saudi Arabia for 3 months. He would go to Jakarta, Indonesia for 3 months. He was always somewhere. And my mother was the leader of the local Girl Scout troop. So when they went to summer camp, I had nowhere to go. So I went to Girl Scout camp for 2 summers. And make all the jokes you want, but it was awesome.
I love it.
Right? But I couldn't. I wasn't eligible to get any merit badges or whatever the Girl Scout equivalent is. So
what
my
about
mother
cookies?
is.
Do you sell cookies?
Cookies though.
You
I
guys
like
want some cookies?
tagalongs. In the Midwest, they call them tagalongs, the peanut butter patties. So my mother is. And there was a every camp has its ghost stories, and this camp's ghost story was that a girl didn't know how to swim, and other girls made fun of her. So one night she snuck out to the lake to try to learn how to swim, and unfortunately drowned. And this is not a true story, but if you go to the lake on a night of a full moon, you can see her head floating above the water. So every summer, the girls during a full moon would sneak out to try to see the head. My mother bought a styrofoam head and put a Halloween mask on it and floated it out there. And probably a dozen girls are probably still explaining that to psychiatrists to this day. That's my summer camp story of my time at Girl Scout camp and my mother, who is horribly mean to a bunch of innocent little campers.
Good for your mom. That's a good time. Yeah. So. Well, all
right. Who's next?
Scott, I know you're not just like a now camper or a then camper. You're a now camper as well.
I am indeed. And Gordon, your mom sounds amazing. Please give her my number. I need to know her. But yes, David, to your point, as some of you know, I do enjoy camping and many other outdoorsy activities. I was actually on a camping trip recently and managed to take a video from a hike that I was on with a friend. Shall we take a look?
My glasses. What was that? Who was that?
You ran into Brittany?
Was that Brittany?
So that
Did you
was
really run into Brittany?
Just a video of Britney Spears. I'm not in that video. I didn't take that video, but I just love that video so much. I felt shoehorned into this segment.
Boo! You had me. I
Don't play with our
emotions.
emotions,
Everything. Come on.
Leave Brittany alone.
Hashtag free Britney. Come on, guys. Look, I'm just raising awareness. But on to an actual camping memory. This here is a photo of me on an actual camping trip with my family. So that's my brother and my cousins. We are at our campground that we used to go to regularly as children. Any guesses as to which one is me? No? Anyone want to take a stab? I know it's kind of hard to see.
The one with the amazing pose, obviously.
Yeah.
One
so
who lies about hanging out with Brittany.
I'll fill you in here. It's in case you couldn't tell, it's the one with the pointed toe and the lollipop in his mouth and the shoelace headband that I used to wear all of the time as a child because I was a fashion icon. The reason
Scott, you're gonna bring that back.
You know, look, if I, shoelace headbands, I could probably do it.
Can
sell
we
it
get
at a nice
shoelace
little
headbands
markup.
that says like the ICY, the I chartered yachts, like
I see. Yes.
Yeah.
Can
Perfect.
We get
So
where are my shoes? Where are my
Quick,
shoes?
take your shoelaces off, guys. Let's do it. But how does this delightful picture tie into a summer memory, or a summer entertainment memory, rather? These same trips, we used to go to the boardwalk a lot and play video games together. So this is kind of like when me and my brothers used to go and play those amazing 4-player games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and The Simpsons, and then we would play DDR and things like that. So that's my summer entertainment memories because that's what I used to love doing as a kid. Dance Revolution.
Dance Revolution.
Rose, that should be. You should know that.
I do know that, but I don't say DDR. For some reason, my mind was going
cool
to like
kids
Dungeons
do.
and Dragons.
The cool kids do.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah, that's my
Scott,
summer memory.
Although I was not much of an outdoor kid, I was forced to go camping quite a bit with my father, and we would always go to Yogi Bear. I feel like I told this story on What to Watch Live. Did I tell the story about Yogi Bear campgrounds? I have no idea. I can't remember anything
What to
I
Watch
say except
Live
for
universe. If you've heard this story, let us know.
Right in.
Right in.
Yogi Bear campgrounds, no matter where we went, they were called like Jellystone. And no matter where we went, it was like we went to one in Maryland, we went to Pennsylvania, we stayed in one at Niagara Falls. Like we never stayed anywhere other than these Yogi Bear campgrounds. And I would always find the game room, which was just usually like a shed somewhere on the property that had all these arcade games in it. And I would bring a bag of quarters that I would almost blow on the very first day. And then every subsequent day, I would go in and search the coin returns for additional quarters that I could use to play. And my dad would always be so pissed off at me because I was there camping, but would spend all my time in the game room. And almost every one of them had Gordon, the old WrestleMania arcade with Legion of Doom. And
WrestleFest.
Yes, WrestleFest.
WrestleFest was awesome.
That was like a dream. Like I didn't care about camping, but I loved the camping game rooms.
Like the activities. Yeah, every campground that I've been to always has some sort of game room or extra activities to go to. But I didn't start actually camping. Yeah, like I love these wholesome, fun activities that come with a summer camp or activity or family thing. I love that stuff. Let's go camping, you guys. I feel like
let's go camping.
Sure, let's go camping right now by saying "Kids Summer Camp" into your voice remote.
That was good.
Flawless. That was flawless.
That
was super good.
All right. Well, let's grab a seat and some popcorn. It's time for Xfinity Hangouts. Anyone who knows our dear friend and colleague Scott knows that he has been a fan of actor, singer, model, socialite, and businesswoman Paris Hilton since the days when That's Hot was best known as a complaint for an overheated bowl of minestrone. But last week, Scott's dream came true when he sat down with the media mogul herself to talk about the new Netflix series Cooking with Paris. Scott, tell us all about it.
Yes. Thank you, David. Fortunately, the iconic boss babe and original reality star was able to take some time out of her busy schedule running that fabulous empire of hers to chat with me about getting back into reality, some cooking tips, late night food faves, and cereal mascots of all things, because, you know, that's what we talk about as just like friends, kikiing, whatever. And for those of you unaware, as David mentioned, I am a huge fan of Paris. So this was a bit of a dream come true to me, and not just because of how it ended, no spoilers, but I'm excited for you guys to check it out. So let's jump right in. So speaking of like late night food faves, you mentioned that your favorite is cereal. I mean, Lucky Charms being your favorite. So I want to know, who do you think would win in a fight? Lucky the Leprechaun, Tony the Tiger, or Captain Crunch?
Tony the Tiger.
Why do you say that?
He's a tiger and he would eat them.
All right, fair enough. I thought for sure you were going to say Lucky just because your affinity to him and his marshmallows.
Yeah, I do. But he can't stand a chance against that tiger.
Totally understand. So was there anyone in particular that you absolutely loved working with in the kitchen? I mean, personally, my favorite episode was watching you and your iconic family together. Like, it was, your mom is amazing and hilarious and like just so good.
Thank you. I had fun with everyone. It was just all the girls that came over. It was just so much fun just to be with them here at my house, in my kitchen, and just bond in ways that we never had before because we usually see each other, parties or events. So just being alone in the kitchen together, we got to really have conversations that we've never had before and just talk about so many just fun and interesting stories.
I love it. So final question for you. Where can I get your sliving spices? Because I absolutely need those in my life.
I actually made those. I invented them. So I'll be coming out with the sliving spice line soon. I'll send them over to you.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Thank you so much, Paris. This has been a dream of mine to chat with you. So I really appreciate you taking the time. You're amazing.
I love you, honey. Make sure that you give my team your address because I want to send you a surprise present.
Oh my God, stop. Seriously? I'm dying. Okay. All right. Ah. Thanks, Paris.
Bye, babe. Love you.
Bye. Love you too. Whew. So legit almost died at the end of that interview. Like had to hold it all in, but yeah. So, whew. Anyways, I was genuinely surprised by Paris's answer to my cereal mascot question, and I was like so convinced that she was going to pick Lucky, but her response had me laughing so hard, like the whole like he's a tiger, like dead. Anyways, so it prompted me to sort of like trial a similar question at a dinner party I was at the other night with some mates, and like their responses were equally amazing. So got me thinking, I want to know, if you were to pick one cereal mascot to enter into a fight to the death as your champion, your sort of serial killer, if you will, who would you all pick? So I'll go first here. My pick is the honeycomb guy, who is clearly shifty AF, right? Like, is he on something? Maybe, most likely. Is it honeycombs? Probably not. Did he pierce his own ear with a piece of cereal? Probably. What could he be hiding within that fur? A lot of things. Knives, switchblades, like brass knuckles, flamethrowers, who knows, whatever. Also, he has this weird superpower in which he can turn kids into versions of himself. So not only do you have to fight him, you have to fight minions of this crazy furball guy with crazy eyes. Like, how
I object. How do we know he has that power?
Are we supposed to assume that there are children at this fight to the death? That he can just
he will be. If there's an audience, there's going to be children, and he's going to be
turning children into
crazy furballs.
Wait, I need to know about this superpower. Like, I need to know about this superpower. Like, I need to know what my mascot is dealing with. Have you seen the honeycomb commercial? Every time he's around, he like turns the kids into like their eyeballs start bulging out, and then their mouths turn into his whole thing. It's crazy. It's crazy times.
He's jonesing for the honeycombs. He cannot stand a world where he is not have honeycombs coursing through his veins.
Exactly.
But we're also forced to assume that he has stuff hidden in the fur. Like, I don't know if
But he could. He could do that. It's not necessarily
dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, but he could. Exactly. But if he has exhausted all of his material hidden things, and it's just up to like, you know, what he's got, I feel like
at the end of the day, if nothing else, he could use the like sheer amount of like Tiggy bedhead hair stuff that he has, like pulling out that fro to like make the floor slippery, and like people would just be done. So let's
slipping on a floor. That's your
on the floor.
Offensive maneuver, slipping on the floor.
So your
I'm curious.
End move is like a banana slipping on a banana peel, cartoon style.
But it's hair wax.
I don't know.
Listen. All of your arguments are irrelevant because you cannot kill that which is already dead. Boo Berry walks the earth in search of two things: berry-flavored frosted cereal and a new human body to possess so he can one day rule the earth. Also, look at this guy. He is so stoned. He is the ghost of Cheech Marin's character in Cheech and Chong's next movie. Look it up. Dead Ringer. You think you can kill a stoned, berry-craving ghost in a pork pie hat? Boo Berry has no F's to give, and that does not bode well for your cereal mascots. It's over.
That's
David,
why he has
actually a ghost.
That's why he has
would
the
he
munchies.
be able to wear a hat?
It's a special hat. He died with it on, so he wears it, as well as his bow tie.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad. Once he finds a body to inhabit, he's then mortal once again and can be disposed of.
That's why he's going to fit. I mean, he can come and go, but like he's going to come, he's going to fight, and then he'll take over his body, and then he'll take over the earth, and then when he needs to fight, he can be Boo Berry again.
I highly disagree.
Whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he has no F.
He's already dead. He's already dead. You can't kill him. He doesn't care.
He's never going to be coherent enough to find the right body to inhabit because, like you said,
he is so stoned.
So high,
he feels no pain. He feels no pain.
He's just going to be a spectator. You essentially chose a spectator because he's just chilling. He's so high.
Well, then who do you
He's
pick,
chilling.
Rose? Who do you pick?
Here we go. It's going to be Tony the Tiger. Why? Because of his animal instincts. He doesn't need weapons. He's got his sheer strength. I'm telling you, like whatever body Boo Berry inhabits, boom, roar, roar. He's gonna tear it up. This little hairy dude doesn't matter. Roar, he's gonna tear it up. That animal instinct, the street smarts in the animal kingdom is gonna tear all y'all.
Gordon, go
Just real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me say, I adore Rose. Rose is one of my favorite people. But I gotta, like, here's the thing. There's a little website called Google. Go check it out. Actually, type in the words Tony the Tiger and do an image search.
Don't do it.
Do me a favor. Do a safe image search. Do me a favor and find a single picture where Tony the Tiger has claws or fangs. You will not find one because he is
you're gonna find
mascot designed for children and does not have the weapons necessary to win this competition. You're welcome.
That's where he's smart, though. He knows his audience. He's got to hide all that stuff. But when it has to kick in, his animal instincts will come alive and tear y'all up.
Is he also colorblind? Because a red ascot clearly does not go with his orange fur.
Yeah, he's also way
he's
too
a
positive.
Victim before he's a serial victim.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
He's way too
I'm
positive.
maybe
Everything is great. Everything's great. No, it's not, Tony. You're about to be torn
Tony.
apart by Boo Berry and the honeycombs
Thank you,
monster.
David. We're in an alliance now.
Don't ever
the Blueberry and the
underestimate
honeycomb
your
guy are working
opponent.
together.
No, we'll team up, and then when we're the last two left, then we'll fight it out. But like Tony is skateboarding with kids, and like he's such a gentle tiger. He's a pacifist. Tony doesn't stand a chance.
Exactly. Gordon,
This tiger's been in
us?
this tiger's been in the zoo. He's been in the zoo too long.
That's right.
fire
That's
up.
why his animal instincts are going to come out. And he's fired up. Gordon, tell me
Gordon,
why
go
he's
for
gonna
it.
win.
I will. I'm about to put this to bed. There are 3 different kinds of cereal mascots, correct? There are ones who are trying to protect their cereal, like Lucky the Leprechaun. There are those who want the cereal, but people keep it away from them, like the Trix Rabbit. And then there are ones who weirdly don't want the cereal, like Sunny from Cocoa Puffs. I went with the Cookie Crook from Cookie Crisp. He is somebody who's always trying to get the cereal. He wants it so bad. He doesn't care if he will go to prison to get it. Is that somebody you want to cross? It's not somebody I want to cross because he is a repeat offender. Every ad he's been in, the cookie cop has done his job and put him away. And as soon as he gets back on the street, he's back out trying to get that Cookie Crisp. That is a man I wouldn't cross for all the Cookie Crisp in the local supermarket. So at the end of the day, it's all about morals and what you're willing to do. Tony the Tiger, he's not going to risk his endorsements. He's such a good guy. Boo Berry, like what you just said, like, does he even, have you ever seen an ad where he even eats the cereal? I haven't. And finally,
He doesn't need to. He's immortal.
With his hair gel that's going to make us slip and slide. At the end of the day, there's nothing. There is like
You
he
think
does
the
not
honeycomb
care
guy
about
cares?
our
He don't care. He has no
does
morals.
not care about the law of the land that says you don't steal Cookie Crisp. So Cookie Crook,
This is
my guy
100%.
to take out everybody because he has no morals when it comes to cereal. You're welcome.
Man, this is why we need justice reform. Why is Cookie Crook still out on the streets after all of these repeat offenses? Put Cookie Crisp in jail where there are no cookies.
The Hamburglar, Grimace, all of them, they don't care. They just want their things. And they don't care.
Nothing can kill the Grimace. Nothing can kill the Grimace.
Oh, fun fact. Grimace originally had 4 arms, was evil, and tried to steal milkshakes. Look it up.
4 arms? Huh?
Yeah. Evil Grimace.
We've come so far from talking about iconic boss babe Paris Hilton to Grimace with 4 arms. But here we are.
I hope she sees this. I really hope she sees that it's just like, guys, what about my cooking show?
She's going to be like, cancel that package we were sending to Scott. Well, you can watch Cooking with Paris starting this Wednesday, August 4th on Netflix, and check out Scott's full interview with Paris Hilton later this week by saying what to watch into your voice remote. And speaking of Paris, let's dive into more reality TV favorites with Collections Corner. There is no time like the summertime to indulge your craving for reality TV, and for the last few weeks, I have been painstakingly combing through 30 years of housewives, catfish, hoarders, socialites, pitchy singers, iron chefs, bad cooks, 90-day fiancés, drag queens, ninja warriors, castaways, and unlikely housemates to curate the 100 essential, can't-miss, must-see reality TV shows of all time, and I compiled them in a countdown from number 100 all the way to number 1. And now this was no easy feat, and I looked at many factors, including cultural impact, longevity, sheer entertainment value, to compile a list that truly captures the depth and breadth of the reality TV genre. I encourage all of you to check out the entire list of 100 series, which I guarantee includes some reality shows, some surprises like Paris Hilton's The Simple Life that many of us have forgotten about, except for Scott. But right now we're going to reveal the top 10 titles and see if our panel agrees with my choices. So we're going to start off here with number 10 momentarily, and that is Queer Eye. And this includes both the original 2003 series Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and the 2018 reboot. Number 9, Jersey Shore, obviously a cultural phenomenon that made Snooki and Situation household names for some reason. The Hills, was it real or scripted? Who cares? It is among the guiltiest of reality TV pleasures. 7 is Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The series just came to an end in June after 20 seasons and 280 episodes. A few series have helped launch so many stars into the cultural zeitgeist, from Kim to Kendall to Kylie to Caitlyn. 6, RuPaul's Drag Race. I want to pause for a moment. Scott, could you please help me explain the cultural significance of this show?
Absolutely, David. As you know, I'm a big fan, and I know you are as well. But as someone who's been following this show for a very long time, it's had an unprecedented impact on the LGBTQ plus community, sort of helped bring the art of drag to the forefront of pop culture and normalize queer culture in general, which for young queer folk who are looking for representation in media, that's really, really important. But it's also used this platform to educate viewers, both straight and queer, about things like HIV/AIDS, depression, suicide, gender confirmation surgery, sexual assault, racism, homophobia, terrorism, same-sex marriage, conversion therapy, and so much more. So for a reality show that is largely fun and exciting to watch, to talk about such kind of things that are really, really important to kind of discuss and give it a platform, that's huge. So yeah, I love that you've included it here and appreciate it. So thanks.
Of course, it was tough to like order any of these. Gordon or Rose, do you have any thoughts on 10 through 6 before we see the top 5?
Honestly, David, like these could go in any order. They just had such a big impact on the TV in general. So, and first of all, like what an amazing undertaking this must have been, David. And I think you did a really fantastic job.
Thanks. And like I said before, I guarantee like when you dig back through this, like especially 100 to 10, like there are things in there that you'll be like, I forgot this was even a show. Like I'll just spoil one, and we kind of showed it before, but The Mole, starring Anderson Cooper, like, yeah.
I remember that
show.
That was great.
The Mole was awesome. Show. So you'll have a lot of moments like, oh my God, I remember that, and hopefully watch it. So let's move on to number 5 to number 1. 5 is The Real Housewives. Again, this is encompassing the entire franchise from Beverly Hills to Atlanta to New York. It's obviously a wildly popular show, and they've also launched many, many stars as well. American Idol coming in at number 4, the OG singing competition. Next year marks the 20th anniversary of Idol. Not only did the series launch the careers of host Ryan Seacrest and judge Simon Cowell, but also the careers of Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, and Clay Aiken, y'all.
David's favorite.
My favorite. Number 3, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. 3 months before Idol premiered, we were blessed with the OG dating competition. Yes, Blind Date did premiere a few years before that, but The Bachelor established this soap opera elimination format that has been imitated time and time again. Does anyone here remember who the first Bachelor was?
Oh, Bachelor. No.
You were almost right, Rose. Say what you were going to say.
Trista? Or
Trista Rayne was. Trista was the runner-up in the first season of The Bachelor, and The Bachelor was Alex Michelle, and he gave the final rose to Amanda Marsh, and shocker, it didn't last.
What?
Yeah. And
alert,
number 2, The Real World. Before reality TV was even a genre, there was The Real World. And I recently actually talked to Scott about the impact this show had on me as a kid, particularly as it relates to season 3 in San Francisco, which focused quite a bit on openly gay cast member Pedro Zamora's battle with AIDS. And it was sort of my first exposure to discussions about HIV, AIDS, homophobia, and just being an ally in general. And I think that was the case for a lot of people at that time, which is why the show ended up being so groundbreaking and impactful. So for me, it had like a really long-lasting legacy and certainly deserves to be this high, if not number 1. It was a really, really tight race between 2 and 1, but ultimately, I gave number 1 to one of the longest running reality shows of all time. It's Survivor, which premiered in May of 2000 and has produced a stunning 40 seasons of incredible TV. Gordon, as our Survivor expert, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the cultural significance of this show.
Well, first of all, David, I think you could have gone either way with Real World and Survivor. And I'm a Survivor guy, obviously. Fun fact, that's actually a screen-worn Survivor hat that Jeff Probst won. I think in Cambodia. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, I'm a Survivor guy. I've been reporting on the show since Survivor Gabon, which was season 17. As far as, if you weren't around in the year 2000, it was legitimately the biggest thing on TV. The finale had 51.69 million viewers for the Borneo finale, where Rich Hatch defeated Kelly Wigglesworth. To put that in perspective, the Friends finale, a couple years later, was 51.1 million. So it was just huge at the time. And then that led into the season Survivor, the Australian Outback, which, premiered after the Super Bowl and did amazing numbers. You can consider Survivor responsible for tropes such as as basic as a reality show where after every episode we get rid of somebody and whittle our way down. I don't know if they invented it, but they definitely made it popular in the United States. Also in that format, like creating alliances, so many of the things Jeff Probst has said have become cultural catchphrases like the tribe has spoken, things along those lines. And you mentioned The Real World and how it opened your eyes to Pedro and his plight. Like Survivor had its moments with Richard Hatch and Rudy Bosch. Rudy Bosch was very homophobic in season 1 and became best friends with Richard Hatch, who's a homosexual, and it was kind of a nice, it sounds ridiculous to talk about, today, but at the time was a pretty big deal. So yeah, and Survivor, it's 21 years later, it's still happening. It's going to be back in the fall. It's going to be back in the spring. You can't kill it. It's the primetime juggernaut. On Wednesday, it still makes its number. Every other rating has gone up and then gone down. Survivor is like a steady plateau with that rating. So look forward to season 41 coming up in September on CBS.
Yeah, we are a loyal bunch. Whenever I meet somebody else who watches Survivor, I'm like, oh, you're one of the other ones too. It's like me and Gordon. And I think Kayla watches Survivor as well. So we're few, but we're consistent.
You know what it is? Kids like Survivor for the adventure. While most shows their audience dwindles, Survivor keeps bringing in young folks to check it out. So and also Survivor has been responsible for way more marriages than The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. So they've got that going for it too. Good
call. Scott, Rose, any thoughts? Any thoughts on that top 5 before we get going?
I agree with every single one of your selections. Like, bravo, David. That I know that was probably a very hard list to come up with and justifications why, but I absolutely agree with all of them. All of them very impactful, especially Survivor. Gordon, with Survivor, like, I didn't watch reality. I didn't really know about reality, period. But everyone, whether you knew about reality TV or not, this new genre, they heard about Survivor, and I absolutely am not mad at your top 10. All of them. I mean, really, David, amazing.
Thanks. Scotty, you want the last word?
Of course. Yeah, no, David, I think you did a great job. Like, there's not a whole lot to say here. You had reached out to me about some of this stuff as you were doing it. I think your top whatever 10 that you showed today was fantastic and bang on. A lot of the reality trash that I watched back in the day, I think is further up in the list if it didn't make it at all. Those wonderful things like Charm School and
in there.
I don't know, that lovely VH1 I won called Scream Queens, where there was all these young actresses vying for a part in Saw, which I don't think you've included, rightfully so.
Didn't make the list.
Not appropriate to make it in there, but also a fun one to watch. But yeah, it really this whole collection really made me think about all of the fun, silly reality shows that I used to watch back in the day. And some of the premises were just really kooky and crazy back then. And so I think it's just really cool to see how it's kind of grown and what actually has stuck around and had a lasting impact. So I appreciate you pulling all this together for everyone.
Absolutely. And you, Gordon, you've got a game for us based on reality shows.
I do. So as Scott was saying, there have been reality shows that had very weird premises. So we decided to do a game to see if you could tell the real premise from the fake premise. And I actually reached out, I know a lot of reality show folk, and I reached out on Twitter. I'm like, does anybody have like a list of like the worst reality shows? And Jessica Leese, who's a podcaster on both Post Show Recaps and Rob Has a Podcast, had the most amazing list I've ever seen in my life. They actually did a mole podcast where they actually brought up horrible old reality shows. So if you watch the mole podcast, if you listen to that, don't tell your friends about the answers to these. Keep them to yourself. What you want you to do is use your remote control to vote. I'm going to give you a premise, and you let us know if you think this premise is real or fake. Starting off, the show was called Who's Your Daddy? And it's about a young woman who had been adopted as an infant meets 25 different men, one of whom is her biological father. If she can identify him, she wins $100,000. If another man convinces her that he is her biological father and he is not, he gets $100,000. Is that show real or is it fake? Rose, what do you think?
Okay, I'm going to just talk it through before I give you my answer. I feel like you wouldn't start with the fake one right off the bat, but this sounds so ridiculous that I can't believe it could be a premise. But my first instinct, because I don't think you would start off with a fake one off the bat, is it's true. Please no.
Okay, Scott, David, what do you think?
This is a tough one. It absolutely, to me, sounds like something that would be a real reality show back in the day and during a very specific time. Although the title is throwing me off. I feel like that's just a little too straightforward. So I'm going to go with it is a real show.
All right, David, what do you got?
I am almost 95% positive this is real. I feel like I can picture in my head like multiple dads standing there as like she like chooses who it is, or like one or two. I also just might be thinking of Mamma Mia, which also could just be what I'm thinking of. Isn't that basically the same plot? So I think what I'm actually picturing is Pierce Brosnan.
So you all think it's real, and it is real. It aired on Fox in 2005. Who's Your Daddy? What a horrible concept.
That
all
is,
right, next up.
I know.
Terrible. The worst.
I was hoping it would be true, but dang, y'all, that's crazy.
All right. So next up, we have a television show called What Would Brian Boytono Fix? From his garage in San Francisco, California, figure skating champion and self-taught handyman Brian Boytono shows you how to repair a variety of household items. Is it real or is it fake? Rose?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to say it's fake. I'm going to say it's fake.
All right.
Yeah,
Scott, what do you
there's
think?
no chance that's real.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just jumped in. There's no way
Mm.
that's a real thing.
I'm going to go with fake as well. Also, I'm still just stuck on
Okay.
this poor child who has to figure out
I know,
who
me
her
too.
dad
That
is.
was.
That's just so
I
rude.
couldn't segue into thinking, like the next question.
Okay. David, what does the What to Watch Live universe think?
What to Watch universe? It's saying 60% real. So I can't believe anyone is saying this is real. Oh,
Yeah.
the tides are shifting. It's getting a little close to the middle
Because
now.
you're-
It's still
I don't
real.
think
Because
this
they're
is
listening to you.
real.
All right.
Yeah, I
so
don't
the
think this
correct
is real,
answer is,
audience.
what would Brian Boytono fix is it is fake. However, a show called What Would Brian Boytono Make aired on the Food Network in 2009. In that show, Brian prepared a variety of dishes. So
Okay.
not that
Huh.
crazy.
I watched that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wait,
Brian
I see what
Boytono
you
cooked.
did there, Gordon.
See what I did?
Mm-hmm.
Tricky game.
What's
Master.
up?
All right.
What's up next?
All right. The third one is a show called Hurl. Contestants are compelled to eat as much of a particular food as they can. Then they're subjected to a strenuous activity such as swimming or amusement park rides. If they keep the food down, they get to keep the cash. Is it real or fake? Rose.
It sounds like something that would be on Spike.
This.
TV for men.
Spike TV presents Hurl.
I'm gonna say fake. That is, I'm just thinking about like the production costs and all of the liabilities on the back end. I'm gonna say fake. That's a lot.
All right, Scott.
For similar reasons, I'm going to say fake, but also like, I don't know. People like watching other people throw up. That's not my
They
jam.
love it.
It just instantly
They
makes
love
me
it.
want to throw up. So
I know.
I'm going to
Alright.
tentatively say, like, I don't know, not so confident. It's not so confident fake.
Okay, David.
I am like Rose trying to think of what network would have aired this. I felt like maybe it could have been something that was just on like one of those like early 2000s like websites like break.com or something you downloaded on LimeWire or something like that.
All of the real ones are on an actual linear television network.
Oh, then there's no chance it's real. It's
Yeah.
totally fake.
All right, what does the audience think?
The audience is pretty split. 55% fake, 45% real. It's neck and neck, but they're leaning towards fake.
Okay. The show entitled Hurl, where contestants ate food and then were trying to throw up, is real. It's real,
No.
and it aired on G4 in 2008.
G4.
Oh, G4.
Of course. So
That's why
Spike,
you're no longer
basically.
around, dude.
Early Spike. All right, we got two more for you. All right, the next show is called I Want to Look Like a High School Cheerleader Again. With help from trainers from the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, 10 former high school cheerleaders work to regain their previous physiques and compete for a $50,000 prize. Is it real or is it fake? Rose?
I feel like this. I feel like I saw a little bit of this, so I'm gonna say it's real. It was like on some like I can't remember what channel it would be on, like a cable
CMT.
channel. Yeah, some cable channel. Not that there's anything wrong with cable channels. Just saying.
Wow.
Go ahead, Scott. I'm so anxious to jump in. Go ahead.
I also think this is real, although the name is just like super long and clunky. That's what's throwing me off here. Like how would you even fit that in like a linear guide? Like you would just be, it's a lot.
Cable terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, it'd just be a lot to try and find. But yeah, I don't know.
I agree with you,
real.
Scott. I agree for the exact same reason. It's the clunkiness of I want to look like a high school cheerleader again. Or I just feel like there must be something, there would be a way to make that a little smoother, like make me a high school cheerleader or a pom-pom makeover or there must be something better than that.
UGLY.
You win. You win.
All right. Good night, folks. All right, David, what is the
61% are saying it is real and climbing. The votes are very much leaning towards real.
All right. I Want to Look Like a High School Cheerleader Again is real, and it aired on CMT in 2007.
Yes!
So David gets extra credit. David gets extra credit. All right. All right, this is our last one. So this show is called They Play Doctors on TV. Celebrities learn how to perform various types of medical procedures and actually perform them on patients. Fun fact, C. Thomas Howell would go on to date and eventually marry the tech who taught him how to do an ultrasound. Is it real or is it fake? Rose?
Fake. Think of all of the liabilities. I'm thinking like industry now. Like the networks would have so much liability.
So waivers
I mean, a celebrity performing an actual like procedure on someone? No, I would not. If I were on that show, I would not sign that like release.
Then you wouldn't be on
Rose,
that show, Rose.
You don't remember when Tony Danza gave someone a prostate exam? What an episode.
Wow.
Please let it be fake.
Wow.
Scott, you want to weigh in?
I mean, like, the name is too similar for me to, like, the two scrub guys. They have a podcast that said we're only doctors we only play doctors on TV or something like that. And that's kind of what's throwing me off here. So I'm going to say
that's what's throwing you off.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's throwing me off here.
What do you got, David?
I think because there's no liability that can't be waived with a waiver. I mean, if you can stuff people with food and make them do physical exercise, you can do this as well. I kind of think this is real. I have no idea why. I don't know where it would have aired, but I mean, they had like celebrities play cops in like that one like ride along type series.
Armed and Famous.
Armed
and Famous. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did that in The Simple Life.
So I actually think this is real.
Okay. What do our friends think?
Overwhelmingly fake.
Okay.
Hope
well,
it's
the
fake.
correct answer.
Please, Gordon.
The correct answer to They Play Doctors on TV. It is fake.
Yes!
And I even tried. I'm like, an ultrasound. You can't get hurt doing an ultrasound. That's what I even like. So, and the funny thing is, I actually based this on a show called like Celebricadabra, where they taught celebrities how to be magicians, and C. Thomas Howell won or something like that. I'm like, ooh, maybe if I change. No. Thank you for playing.
No,
it.
that's fun fact. You had a fun fact in there. I'm like, no, that's a red herring. I know it.
That was the point.
The
like
specificity.
It'd be hard to hurt somebody with an ultrasound. But yes, that's our game. Thank you for playing. You guys did really well.
Hey, yeah. It was very good. And you can watch all of these reality shows by saying best reality shows ever into your voice remote. As always, before we head out for the week, we're here to help you plan ahead. This week's premieres include Drug Lords, Nasty Feet, Anti-Heroes, and Flying Saucers. Scott is here to tell us all about it. Scott?
If you're into true crime documentaries, saddle up, because this one is wild. Cocaine Cowboys, The Kings of Miami follows the true story of two childhood friends who go from high school dropouts to the most powerful drug kingpins in Miami. Expect a slew of wacky characters, more than 75 tons of cocaine, and murder. So basically Tiger King, but in Florida, and probably with a few more teeth. You can check out Cocaine Cowboys, The Kings of Miami on Netflix starting Wednesday, August 4th. You know, if you asked me a few years ago if a reality show about podiatry would ever take off, I probably would have said absolutely not. But America, you've proved me wrong once again, and here we are heading into a third season of TLC's bizarre foot surgery show, My Feet Are Killing Me. Honestly, I don't have a lot to say about this one, so I'm just going to read off some of the incredible episode titles to set the stage here. Starting off with the classic Hornet's Nest Feet, Melted Candle Wax Feet, Sixth Toe Surprise, Corn Crazy, Macaroni Toenails, and Moldy Cheese Feet. Why do so many of these titles reference food? I don't know, but you can check out the new season premiere on August 4th and maybe find out. If you are a fan of Archie Punjabi's portrayal of the edgy private investigator Kalinda Sharma from The Good Wife, I've got good news for you. Archie's back. Except this time around, she's investigating transportation safety in the hit Peacock thriller Departure. Season 2 will focus on an automated high-speed train crash that leaves multiple deaths in its wake and a web of potential suspects. Was it the tech visionary who invented the train's control system? An anti-technology politician? Or perhaps it was the FBI prisoner who disappears after the crash? Check it out on Peacock on August 5th to find out. On August 6th, the highly anticipated anti-hero film The Suicide Squad comes to HBO Max. America's worst supervillains, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, Captain Boomerang, Ratcatcher 2, Savant, King Shark, Blackguard, Javelin, and everyone's favorite psycho, Harley Quinn, aren't having a great time in prison. Unsurprising, right? So much so that they're willing to do anything to get out, including joining a super secret, super shady task force that sends them on a search and destroy mission on an enemy-infused island. Early reviews have been overwhelmingly positive and praise the film for being funny, fast-paced, and smartly playing off of the source material's violent, anarchic strengths. Again, check this one out Friday on August 6th on HBO Max. Infamous crime boss Bumpy Johnson is back for a second season of the hit epic series Godfather of Harlem, once again exploring the collision of the criminal underworld and civil rights. This season finds Bumpy battling the New York City crime families for control of the lucrative and murderous French Connection, the pipeline for heroin that runs from Marseille to the New York harbor. An ambitious plan that will pit him against not only the Italians and the law, but also his friends and family. You can catch up on all of season 1 on Epix right now, and be sure to tune in to season 2 premiere on August 8th. Aliens, so hot right now. UFOs, also so hot right now. And on Sunday, August 8th, you can learn all about them when all 4 episodes of the new docuseries from J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot and Glenn Zipper drops on Showtime. The series explores our fascination with unidentified flying objects and what clandestine influence the American government, lucrative private companies, and the military may have in shielding the truth behind extraterrestrial phenomena to further their own agendas. Sounds sus if you ask me. But since the government is probably listening in right now, I'm just going to end with, you're doing great, sweetie.
Gordon, parting is such sweet sorrow, but we do have to say farewell to some amazing TV shows this week. Please tell us about the upcoming finales.
All right, batting first and airing tonight on A&E, it's the finale of America's Top Dog Season 2. One of these proficient pooches will prove to be the goodest boy or girl and bring home the $25,000 grand prize. That will buy a lot of squeaky toys. Next up is the Season 2 finale for Making the Cut on Prime Video. That'll air this Friday. Which one of the 3 designers will make it work and take home the $1 million prize? Oh, $1 million. That will buy way more squeaky toys. Anywho, that's this Friday on Amazon Prime. On that same night, you can check out the Season 1 finale of The Mysterious Benedict Society on Disney+. Can Rainy, Sticky, Kate, and Constance save the world from the emergency? I don't know. I hope so. Find out for yourself this Friday on Disney+. Then this Sunday, the finale of the critically acclaimed Blind Spotting will air on Starz. It'll be really interesting to see what happens when Ashley brings the whole family to meet Miles. Again, that's this Sunday on Starz, and actually, you might want to watch that later on. Watch it on demand, maybe on Monday, because holy cow, the Olympics are already almost over. So Sunday night, don't miss the closing ceremonies of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics on NBC. But don't feel too bad if you didn't get your full Olympics fix, because hopefully we'll be doing it all again in a couple of months. And finally, this Monday is the finale of The Beast Must Die on AMC+. It looks like Francis is finally going to get some revenge, but an unexpected twist throws everything into chaos. Isn't that always the way? Always. The only thing that ever really goes perfectly is an episode of What to Watch Live. David, back to you, buddy.
Thanks, Gordon. And that will do it for this week's show. Special thanks to Cooking with Paris star Paris Hilton for hanging out with us today. And even bigger thanks to my fellow Xfinity editors Scott, Gordon, and Rose for joining me. Next week, I will be taking the day off, but you'll be in amazing hands with our very special guest host, Rose, who will be kicking off Xfinity's Kids Week with an entire show dedicated to all the fun and free kids movies and TV shows you can enjoy all week long. If you want to check out the shows we talked about today, get more of our entertainment recommendations, or watch us interview big celebrities, just say what to watch into your voice remote, or tune in here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern for a new episode. My name is David. Thank you for joining us on What to Watch Live.